Hey guys, welcome to the Big Talk with Austin. Thanks for Zach for joining me this episode. That this is actually was supposed to be there was supposed to be two people that were supposed to join me this episode, Michael, but there were some difficulties to do that, so it was just Zach, and we had a good time talking. And so we had they both have a channel. I'm going to put that down in the description below, so you guys can go check that out. They do like basically movie reviews. They have some music reviews and a bunch of other stuff. Definitely go check them out. They're definitely a smaller channel, and so go support them. And this is kind of what I wanted to do with the series in the first place, was like get these smaller channels together to talk about entertainment news, just so like pop culture type of stuff. That's the whole reason. So I finally got someone that was actually really smaller than, and so now we can work our community together and build up. So definitely go check out their channels, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode.
First topic that we can talk about is Willy Wonderland. So when I first saw this trailer, I had no idea what this was about. I didn't even know Nicolas Cage was in it. I was like, what is this? And so it reminds me a lot of what is that trailer that came out a couple years ago. Let me see if I can find it. It was basically like Five Nights at Freddy's ripoff.
Yep.
I feel like I feel like all these scripts that come out with these um these movies that just come out with these like scripts of like at a restaurant and it's like about these animatronics that get possessed. It's always like it was like always going to be like a Five Nights at Freddy's movie, but then in the studio is like well, no, let's not. And it's like, okay, we'll take the script somewhere else and name it something else. And
Well,
so
like you said, when I saw the trailer, I didn't know what it was either. But I also saw an article about it, so I read the article, then found the trailer.
mhm.
Um, Personally, I love all these B movies that are like based off of properties that already exist and done well with that genre.
Yeah.
Like, I'm hyped for it just because I want to see how low budget it really is.
Yeah, especially for the over top Nicolas Cage that we hope we all to
Exactly.
get. He doesn't say any lines in the trailer, which is kind of odd. So who knows if he
Well,
gets
the
it.
thing that I love the most is, I guess, his eccentric way of drinking a beer and then beating up an animatronic.
Yeah, it just makes no sense. It's just stupid fun at that point. You're going in with knowing what you're gonna get, which is fine. And so it was a banana split. That was what it was.
Yep.
Um,
I actually watched that movie when it came out online, and let me tell you, I love
I saw the DVD version at Target. I was like, I might want to buy this, but then I decided not to because I was like, if I'm gonna buy it, I'll buy the Blu-ray version.
it. Yeah, I was saying, watch the Blu-ray. I do recommend watching it for the fact that it's B movie cheese, but also if you love Hanna Barbera properties and you like seeing them get like a darker twist or a more surreal twist, you'd enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, it looks fun. It just, I mean, like, I don't know. It's just like, it's kind of too late for these movies. It's like, I think Five Nights at Freddy's has died at this point. Because, like, I mean, it's not like I don't want this. It just reminds me a lot of Five Nights at Freddy's because that's what they're basically going off of. It's like, it's a
Right.
simple, easy thing. And so, and who knows, this might work up to an actual Five Nights at Freddy's movie, but
Well,
it's going
there's
to be,
still one in development, last I heard, with Scott Cawthon trying to find the perfect script.
yeah, and it's just gonna be like Slender Man or what is it? New Mutants. It's just gonna be like it's too late. No one cares.
Yeah,
And so,
but I think that obscurity though is kind of what makes it good because Five Nights at Freddy's is still going really strong as a whole franchise.
hmm,
It really, especially with the new drop, with the new game about to drop here soon,
there's a
Security Breach.
there's a new one.
Yeah, actually, you can find the trailers for it online, and instead of it being like the past games, this one looks like it's going to be a hide and seek where the animatronics actually are trying to save you from the big bad of the game.
Hmm.
So
I mean,
like if you Google the statues that are coming out with the game, like the
what's it called?
Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach.
Because I never heard of this. Oh, here it is. Okay, because I'm actually currently playing through the Five Nights at Freddy games. Um.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you look at the statues for the game,
They look
One of the
completely different, actually.
yeah, I think this one's supposed to be set more like 80s, 90s cheese, but you're playing as a kid being saved by the animatronics from the killer in the game.
That's interesting. And this is made by Scott.
Yeah, it's another Scott Cawthon approved game. It's being made by him, and I personally think it looks really fun. The trailer doesn't give you a lot of the gameplay,
Hmm.
but it gives you enough to make that basis of like, is it hide and seek with death?
It's kind
But
of interesting.
yeah, it is.
Well, I mean, because it's something, I guess, something new and different, and with how well the VR version did, Help Wanted, I guess it would make sense to keep it going.
So I mean,
Um,
as long as that franchise goes strong, especially since he's making movements to help make indie developers that make fan games
yeah.
more well known, since he actually approves of their fan games being made based on his projects. I feel like as long as those projects work well, Five Nights at Freddy's is never going to necessarily die off nor go into
Well,
obscurity.
unless they, can keep it going, I guess, yeah. But I mean, so
Like
this
all
80s
the
vibe does seem like a new standpoint. So
yeah, and so all these rip-offs that are coming out, like the movies, like the Willy's Wonderland that's going to be dropping, Banana Splits. I kind of feel like they're trying to ride that hype train and kind of
yeah.
see how far they can take it. Because I'm hoping Banana Splits gets a sequel, because I want to see what they can really do with it when given
Well,
the
I mean,
helm.
Planet Splits was based off a TV show and turned into a horror movie.
Yeah, it was. But it felt very FNAF-esque because they even say in the movie, hey, instead of having people in costumes, we're replacing them with animatronics. And I kind of feel like if they kept the whole people in costumes aspect, it could have been a lot scarier and a lot more of a thrill ride.
Yeah, I feel like I would I feel like I would be more scared if there was a human in that costume than just a robot. So,
Well, I do gotta
uh,
say, look at any of the behind the scenes and you see who voiced the actual Banana Splits.
mhm.
I'm honestly impressed with how close his recreations of the original voices are.
Oh, wait, so who is in the okay. All right, well, I mean, that's pretty good. I have the trailer pulled up. I'm trying to look. Yeah, so the problem with Willy Wonderland, it's just like these kids. I don't really like them from the trailer. They just like they're kind of like pointing out the obvious stuff, and so, but I mean that's a B movie thing, I guess. But
It is, but my thing about it is, it seems like these other characters are just useless. They're just going to be there for cannon fodder,
for Nicolas Cage, maybe to save or let them die. I don't
maybe to
know.
say, maybe to die, maybe to act as like your generic B movie necessity of nudity if they have that rating.
Yeah. Well, we know that Nicolas Cage isn't gonna die because if this does really well, they're gonna want to bring him back for the sequel. Because
Yeah, exactly.
so
And that's my thing is like we know well, even if Nicolas Cage does die, they're just gonna say, oh well, the animatronics escaped that
he's in
maybe
the animatronic spirit. He's an animatronic spirit now, and he controls one of the animatronics. I guess.
yeah.
I don't
I
know.
mean, in that aspect, it's gonna be even more B movie cheese.
Hmm. Um. So the next topic is WandaVision. So WandaVision has released 4 episodes by now. Have you seen any of the WandaVision episodes?
I've seen bits and pieces, but I haven't sat down and watched it yet, simply
Okay.
because I've been I'm busy with work. I work a day job and a night shift job, so
Okay.
my time's a bit split, but I am actually looking to start watching it pretty quick because I heard it gets really good with episode 4.
Yeah, episode 4 is actually where where the wheels actually start moving. The first 2 episodes, I was like, okay, this isn't bad. I was like actually surprised how well, because my expectations were really low with this show. From all the, at least like if you compare them to from the trailers, if you compare them to like each, MCU shows that are coming out on Disney Plus, I was more hyped for Loki and Falcon and the Winter Soldier more than this. And so and when I first watched the first episode, I was like, okay, all right, this isn't bad. And next I watched the second episode. I was like, okay, all right, all right. It's like like paying homage to these different type of TV shows back from like the 50s and 60s, and so it's like okay, it has its own style, and it has something going. And next when episode 3 came along, I was like, okay, it's cool. That's cool and all, but can we, start moving it along? And and luckily episode 4 actually kind of saves it, and it's like okay, good, good, good. But it kind of focuses a little bit on too much that we already know. It's like there's certain stuff's like yeah, I figured that out like a long time ago. I know we don't need to. Can we move it along? And so it's like it has its bad moments, but it shows sides of the MCU that we never seen before, which is really nice. And so, and I actually really like. If I had to rank the episodes right now, it would probably be episode 4, 1, 2, 3. So it's
See, my thing is when I first saw it was announced, I wasn't really all that hyped for it simply
yeah.
because we never really spent a lot of time with Wanda nor Vision in the movies, so we
Hmm.
never really had any chance to flesh them out as a character. So I'm not
Yeah.
going to be hyped for something with characters that we never really get to hang out with, as
I mean,
opposed.
well, we never really hanged out with Bucky or Falcon
And
that
see, that's
much,
the thing.
but
Like I don't know how to feel about their show either. Like
but I think they're like the Captain America's legacy part. I think that's why we're a little bit more hyped for that. It's like, okay,
probably.
you need to, you're taking the legacy of Captain America. You need to treat us right and do this right. And so,
And now,
um,
I mean, like on the Loki show, I can understand people being hyped for that because we actually got to see a lot more of Loki, considering he was one of the first villains in the Avengers movies. We
mhm.
see him all throughout the Thor movies, and we watch his character arc from his first appearance to his last MCU appearance before his supposed death.
Yeah. Mhm.
So
And
we
this might be like a reboot of that. It's like,
yep,
okay, Loki got a little bit too soft. It's like, all right, let's show a little bit more of the dark side of Loki. And so this might set up a bigger universe with Loki, and like, might tie into like the main timeline, and Loki and like Thor and Loki have this big, you know, pull and tug with each other because it's a different Loki, and probably, and with Loki knowing that, because I guarantee when they're showing, because that one room where they show, the Avengers, and like they're showing everything. I guarantee they show his death, and next is like, okay, you know what? Me being too soft got me to die. It's like, you know
yeah.
what? Screw that. I don't care about anyone. I'm gonna go do my own thing, and so I think that might, start set up a darker universe, and that's why I think what's coming with the MCU. There's a little bit more darker movies coming out. So we have like multiverse of madness. That's supposed to be a little bit darker than anything else that we got. And they even said they had to cut stuff out because of how dark it even got. It almost got to the
Right.
point where it's a horror film. And so
See,
I
that's
kind of
what I
wish they didn't do that. I kind of wish it was a horror film, to be honest.
that's what I was wishing too. Is like we're getting an MCU confirmed horror film with Doctor Strange. Sign me up. Like the comic books for Doctor Strange have always had this darker twist, this more
Hmm.
mysterious twist, because not only is he supposed to be like the surgeon supreme, he's the sorcerer supreme.
Yeah.
Like they literally had a comic out in the last year or two where he finally uses some form of magic that he never used before to fix his hands so he could be his surgeon again. So he's surgeon by day, sorcerer supreme by night.
Yeah. And and there's rumors that Wanda is going to be the villain of that film, which is kind of what's kind of being hinted at in the WandaVision. So yeah,
I'd
definitely
be down
check out
to see that.
WandaVision. Um, so you want to talk about Godzilla versus Kong trailer?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'm
Because
I'm excited and I'm worried
I
because
mean, I
I
think
don't want the humans to be involved as much as they've been used to, like they have been in the past films. When I don't get this point with the little girls, like where did that come from? It's like, okay, just show. I'm fine if the humans are there, but like in King of the Monsters, they were way too involved. I didn't like them. They were dumb for one. The characters were stupid. The mom, don't get me on the mom with the mom. So like Jesus, and they're even bringing back the returning cast members. It's like it's not. I don't like. It's not like I hate the actresses or the actors because like what's her name from Stranger Things? Um, I can't remember her actual name, but it's not like she did a bad thing. She's not like she did bad. Her character was just stupid. It's like her
Yeah.
character didn't make any sense, and having her come back, it's like why? And they're gonna do like this. I feel like they're gonna do this, like they're gonna have this connection. She has this connection with Godzilla. It's like why? Why is there gonna be any connection? Just have it. These two big like this these two beings that have been fighting for centuries, finally coming together to fight once more. And like it's like and that's it. Why does there have to be this whole entire human subplot and this like and humans saying it's Godzilla? It's like no shit, it's Godzilla. What do you think? Who else is it? And so and
Well, and I
like
mean, I think the reason they're trying to do that might be because if you watch older Godzilla movies all the way from the very beginning, where it was initially an actual horror film about like the damages of nuclear energy and shit like that before it evolved into Monster Rumble. There's always been this huge human side plot with Godzilla and Gamera and all these other monsters that have been spun off from that franchise
yeah
because they're supposed to be defenders, they're supposed to be protectors. Though they're big and terrifying in size and power,
yeah
they're gentle giants.
yeah,
Only
but from the
fight.
trailer, the humans are already being stupid. They shot at Godzilla. Godzilla saved your planet twice, and you're shooting at him.
Yeah,
And
that's
they have King Kong tied up like he's a prisoner. It's like so has he been just a prisoner for all these years since World War II or like whatever the timeline was that Skull Island was in?
well.
Well, no, that
See,
was
like,
Vietnam. That was Vietnam when that was taking place. And
and
so
my thing is, though, is it's like people are theorizing from the trailer. King Kong was giving Godzilla like a run for his money. Like he was beating the fuck out of him.
yeah,
Pardon my French, but in the trailer, Godzilla is getting rocked around. Like he's not getting a chance to throw a blow, and when he does, King Kong just gets right back up like it's nothing. So
hmm
I've seen all these theories online that it's not actually Godzilla, but Mecha Godzilla attacking people in Godzilla's stead. So by the end of the movie, we're gonna see a King Kong Godzilla team up instead
yeah.
of an all
I
brawling.
don't want that. My friend's been saying that that's gonna happen. I was like, please don't. I don't need another BVS ending. I don't care. I just want to see these two fight. Like that's not like you don't call it. You're calling it Godzilla versus Kong for a reason because we're expecting one. We're expecting a fight and we're expecting one of them to die. Not this all this obvious turns like there's actually another villain this whole entire time. It's like no, stop that. Quit. It's annoying. It's cliche. It's dumb. I don't need that.
Well, and see, my thing is if that's what happens, I want to see them do Mecha Godzilla justice
Yeah,
because
I guess.
original Godzilla lore, the first Mecha Godzilla was built around the original Godzilla skeleton. So if that's what's gonna happen, I want to see it be like I want to see it be an epic monster brawl. I want to see it be like, okay, they temporarily team up, take down Mecha, and then we see their clash, and we find out who the true winner is.
Yeah, because there's only allowed to be one king, and so
Exactly.
and if they just go their both separate ways, it's like I just wasted like $20 to see nothing change. It's like what else are you gonna do with these two? Like there's nothing else you can do in another movie. We've seen two Godzilla movies already. Like you basically did everything. He's basically the leader right now as it is. And so Kong is basically like the challenger trying to take that I, I don't know. This has to be the final one. Like there's nothing else you can do.
Well, and like this ain't the first time these two characters share the silver screen
Yeah. Well, at
because
least
they
on the
did that
big screen,
originally,
yeah.
which turned into that eat the broccoli gif. And I kind of hope they do that scene some justice. Like I want to see King Kong try to shove a tree down Godzilla's throat again.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know, but I just don't want it to be like, cliches like, oh, there's like there's been like this fight for centuries and now it's just starting to come back together. It's like, okay,
No,
the humans are gonna ruin it. I already know the humans are gonna ruin half of it, and like half the problem is the humans. Like it's fine,
exactly.
keep them there. That's fine, but don't have like subplots with this little girl that and with the Stranger Things girl's character when she's pointless. What's she gonna do? It's like I don't know, because she just from the looks of the trailer, the humans have some connection, and I just don't want them. I don't care. I rather want them to die. Like
Right.
so. I
Well, like like if you're gonna have a human, have them be more like temporary exposition of like,
yeah,
so
I
we
guess.
found out what this creature is. Here's that description, and then leave it to the monsters to fucking brawl it out. Like we came to see monsters fighting monsters, not monster, and then two
Yeah, and
hours.
next humans, and next to the monsters fighting in the background, we're seeing humans run away. It's like seriously, the fight's happening right there. Get me closer to that fight. And
Because I mean,
so
everybody gets hyped for a good Godzilla movie because it's always meant to be a brawl fest. Because Godzilla is not, not holding back. He's throwing his punches with all of his might. If he's gonna tail whip you, he's not holding back. He's gonna send you flying,
yeah,
and
and
then
I
they make him
don't
look
know.
weak.
And not enough people die, to be honest, in the Godzilla movies. Not a lot of people die. It's like this is a huge ass freaking monster, and
Mm-hmm.
you expect people to die, but no one dies. Only one character that we know of. Oh, I guess two in the last one. We have the scientist and the mom. I guess spoilers. I mean, don't go watch it. It's stupid anyway. You don't. There's not really as much fights, and so it's like. But I mean, I kind of cared about the scientist guy. He's the only character I really actually like because he's from the 2015. Was it 2015, 16 one?
Yeah,
Somewhere around there. And so it's like, and the mom, it's like the mom tried to have this heroic moment. It's like, it's just because she changed her mind at some point in the movie. It's like, you knew this was gonna happen. What are you? I don't know. Her character was stupid. But
a lot of the human characters are stupid. If you ever rewatch any of the old Godzilla movies, the humans in that were pretty stupid too.
I guess, but I don't think they were involved that much.
Prime example: Godzilla Final Wars 2000. You want to see some pretty stupid humans? That right there, pretty
Uh,
stupid human.
um, I guess we can talk about what's else is stupid. So there's like this question going around: could Robert Downey Jr. have been the Karate Kid? So this is coming to like in Cobra Kai. It's like why? Why would you want to do that in the first place? You have the original actor still alive. Why not just use the original actor? I mean, what? I don't even think Downey was acting when the first Karate Kid coming out because I think that's what it's talking about. But I don't think he was acting at the time. And I think the guy that plays the Karate Kid is older than Downey. I think he's older than Downey.
I think he is, yeah.
And so I don't know. I don't. What would you? Could you see Downey playing? Um, what is
Daniel,
this?
no,
No. Yeah.
I
I
can't.
don't.
Simply because I grew up watching that trilogy of movies. I loved them as a kid. I always thought they were really good,
Even the
for as
third one.
as they could
Even
be.
even the third and fourth one that no one knows about.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, it's just. I mean, the Cobra Kai show is really good. I actually really enjoy the show. There's this. I mean, it has its problems, but overall, as the show, it's a pretty good show from Johnny's perspective, because that's the whole point of the show. It's like, all right, we got the Karate Kid movies. That's Daniel's story. Now this is Johnny's story. So that's what. So I like that about Cobra Kai. So and just bringing back the original cast members would have been cool. Is awesome. Yeah. Nothing really else to say. I mean, I wouldn't like to see
Well,
Downey.
it kind of defeats the purpose of like having this wide variety of characters, only to be like, oh hey, we're gonna
Yeah,
call you Daniel.
it's like, well, it's like I think Robert Downey Jr. is a too much of a recognizable actor. and I
Mm-hmm.
think it just would ruin, you know, the
It
movie.
ruined
It
the
would
rest
just
of
it would just take you
the
out.
show.
Yeah. Um. Okay. So Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is getting a game reportedly in development without EA and BioWare, which is really good because from the sounds of it, it's a indie company because I never heard this company ever or studio. I never heard the studio ever. It says Wuju Studios. I don't know how to say that. It's also it took to Rest ERA. Um, yeah, I don't know who they are, so I never heard of any of these guys before. So that's with this, for the format of Lucasfilm games. This is giving the opportunity for more indie films, not indie films, but indie developers,
Right.
to create content.
So I think one reason why you may not have heard of them is because I pulled up their website and they were founded in 2017.
Okay,
And they are a group of industry veterans. So they're an experienced professional team of creative and technical developers based in the heart of Liverpool.
I don't know what that is.
It looks more close to being related to being in the Baltic Triangle, something like that.
I have no idea what that is.
But
Do they have
basically,
any games?
um, let's see.
Says
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, because I never heard of these guys.
I haven't either. Um,
But I mean,
Baldur's Gate. That's
yeah,
one of their.
yeah, I don't know what that is. But I mean, but overall, I'm looking forward to that because we've been asking for Old Republic stuff for a long time now, at least from Disney. Like, because they were planning to do a trilogy of the Old Republic, which was really nice. But then, the people from Game of Thrones decided to, abandon it, which is fine because I don't want them to do that. Um, they should stick to TV shows, not movies.
Yeah.
Um,
My thing is though is like I'd really enjoy to be able to get more lore development because I feel like a lot of this stuff has been more exposition, action,
hmm
and don't get me wrong, Star Wars has always had a history of that in the prequels and the sequels, like our original trilogy and all that. But I mean, I kind of want to be able to experience more of the characters that they're trying to give us, and so I'm hoping this Wushu Studios, when it comes to this game, can really give us what we want. Because I love Star Wars, I love the lore, I love the universe that it built itself over the years. And when I heard Disney bought it and made all of what was initially expanded canon no longer canon, it made me so mad.
I mean, yeah, because I think Disney said the comic books aren't canon. At least theirs are still canon, but the
Not the
old
ones,
ones, yeah,
not novels, not any of that. And it makes me mad because that was great expanded lore.
that they could have worked with. But
Exactly.
now,
I mean, they even
well,
had a
I think
there's
now they might still. They're. I think they might be canon now with the route that Disney's going. I don't know. They might have ruined that with their movies though, because a lot of the
like
movies said they aren't.
well, like
Uh,
my thing is there was a book out there where literally it was a what kind of like you could see it as a what if where some sort of zombie infection occurs in part
oh
of the
yeah,
Star Wars.
yeah, I heard about that. Yeah. And there was I might even have a comic book. I remember ordering one of the comic books, but there was a comic book where Darth Vader was trying to find an apprentice, and there was I can't remember the name of the character, but he kind of goes rogue and you know kind of takes out the whole almost entire empire, at least on what is it called, the where they go to make the clones, like
Oh
in the
yeah, I know.
Clone Wars. So they I I don't know where that comic book is. I have it somewhere, and so I don't think that's canon anymore. But I freaking love that comic book, and I've been trying to play the games for a while, and I feel like that will be a good starting point because like there's a trilogy I think it's a trilogy or just a movie with the guy that directed Thor Ragnarok is taking place between episode 4 and episode 5. So
Oh,
there's between that point, and I feel like that would be a good point. I don't know when those comic books took place, but if they're going to explore, because I think it's going to be from the Empire side, and so that's a good point, a good part to get Darth Vader in and get that storyline, because there's so much stuff that we haven't done with Darth Vader, and
mhm.
like there's so much oops, there's so much just content and like just lore in these like in these between these trilogies that they just don't touch or don't want to touch, and it's ridiculous. And
That's
so,
too about a lot of the stuff because the comics coming out by Marvel in Star Wars under Darth Vader's name, a lot of times are really good.
mhm,
Like they are surprisingly good at times. Because you're sitting here, you hear Marvel, and you think, Iron Man, Captain America, superhero stuff. You're not sitting here thinking Space Odyssey books and all that. But their Darth Vader books can be really good.
mhm.
And the writing and the lore and the building that they do with that could equal great movies or even great TV show. Hell, I would pay to see a Darth Vader show on Disney Plus with the same care that they put into The Mandalorian.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I mean, it's been confirmed that Darth Vader will be in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series at some point with the return of Hayden Christensen. So if that does well, they might be able to, get him back to even do more stuff for a season for his own
I mean,
series.
like, I want to see them take those Darth Vader comics that they didn't
Because
create.
I feel like Star Wars is going to be more on TV, like as a TV show throughout now, because they can't get they can't get straight things right as a movie, which will be another topic that we can talk about for another franchise soon. But Resident Evil Village Medan was a demo as a showcase that was dropped on the PS5, only on the
Yeah.
PS5, and so I got the chance to play it because I luckily got myself out in the hands of a PS5. Um, but yeah, are you a big Resi fan or
I
have you
am a
played?
big fan, actually. Now, my Resi fan days didn't necessarily start until about the days of Resident Evil 7, but I am a fan to where I have looked at some of the past Resi lore. I've looked at some of this other stuff about Resident Evil.
Hmm.
I really do enjoy it as a game franchise. But looking back, I'm probably going to be more of a modern Resi fan simply because I feel like they're doing a lot more with it than
Oh
what the
yeah,
other.
because this next one's gonna have wolves and vampires in it and all that stuff,
We're getting away from the zombies
which is
because I'm
kind of
tired of zombies.
because my first Resident Evil game I played was Resident Evil 7, so I probably joined in right at the right time for it. So because we're going to get these new stories and be like, if I told and I said when they in the future keep making these games, I'll be like, hey, this new storyline is actually pretty good, and next that gets me to go back to play the old ones to see how those connect. And so I actually did play Resident Evil 2 remake, which I really liked. I haven't played Resident Evil 3 remake just yet. I'm currently right. I haven't played it right now, but I just got the Resident Evil HD. It was like $5 on the PlayStation Store. I was like, yeah, I'll pick it up. I mean, and so I'm kind of disappointed that they're gonna go away from the zombie virus thing because I'm just like literally getting into the old games. But
See, the thing is, though, is I'm kind of differing on that. I'm tired of zombies being like this prominent horror figure nowadays
well,
when we have so much
yeah,
great stuff. So
yeah,
when I
yeah, I know. Yeah,
I really got into that because it wasn't like a, oh no, zombie infection horror
oh
where your
yeah,
horror is going to be stuck to the zombies and special infected. This
yeah.
time they had to
Uh,
expand more, so the horror was more psychological while
mhm.
still being a physical horror.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. Yeah, I mean like it's not like I don't like the direction that they're going, but I feel like did they really go into any deep detail on how the virus was created in the other games, or like are they like done with the virus? Like have they explained everything with the virus, or is there like still things missing?
And see, I feel like there's some stuff missing because I never really did get to see clear answers. But again,
Okay.
Resident Evil that came out beforehand is kind of before my time in some aspects.
That's what I thought Resident Evil 7 was. I thought it was a prequel. Because it kind of isn't a
And see,
prequel.
that's my theory. Was like at first it was going to be like a prequel, and that the whole thing that happened with the villain in Resident Evil 7 was like a precursor to it. And it
Hmm.
could very well could be, or it could be like a new universe, like a reboot of some sort.
Yeah.
And a part
Because
of me
Chris
kind of
comes at the end of it, and one of my friends that are really that is like a really big Resident Evil fan is thinking that isn't even the real Chris, and so which is kind of odd. I mean, it's possible. I mean, cloning. I guess if you if you create a virus, I guess cloning is a thing. I guess I don't know, but I mean, like that would be stupid to do, and so I don't
well,
know.
like
I mean, like it's like they have done like Resident Evil Zero and like the Revelation stuff. Those aren't
yeah,
technically connected to like the main games. So who knows? Maybe Resident Evil 7 aren't connected, to it
well, and
at
see,
all.
I kind of like it if they use it as both. Like if you look at it like a prequel, it's a prequel. But
Hmm.
I kind of like the idea of it being both. So prequel, but a separate branch to maybe a rebooted universe where zombie hasn't quite been,
Yeah.
anything more
Does
than
it?
fiction.
It's been a while since I played the seventh one. Does it? I think it does explain the virus in it, doesn't it? At some point, like you find these
It ex-
files.
yeah, it explains what's happening with the main villain and where these powers and these monsters
Y-
come from. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of it is kind of virus-like. A
Yeah.
lot of the documents that you discover throughout the game give you very virusy vibes. Like it was not just oh, she woke up with Stephen King powers or something. It's no, they experimented on her. They gave her these powers through some form of forced evolution.
Mm-hmm.
And
And no, like Luke was like very, tied into it as well.
yeah,
Uh,
it was. It
and
was
so and they were saying Luke was the main villain, but no, but El no, Luke was the second villain. Evelyn was the main villain.
Evelyn was the main. There
Yeah.
we go.
Hmm.
Evelyn was the main. Ethan was just the poor guy who got stuck in it because he thought his wife was alive and he went to go save her.
Yeah. And so
Of
and
course,
I don't know that much about Resident Evil 8, and so but I only know that he's returning for that.
so what I know of Resident Evil 8, because I watched Jacksepticeye's playthrough because I am not lucky enough to be currently in possession of a PS5.
Hmm.
And so I watched Jacksepticeye's playthrough of it. And from what I saw from that, because again, when I saw it, I was kind of zoning in and out, falling asleep and stuff. It's very much so heavy on some sort of extra lore based around Ethan and Mia, if that's who the woman is in the beginning of the game slash trailer, leading up to the whole, oh, I'm now in a Victorian era castle getting crushed by this 8 foot tall, thick Victorian vampire lady that the internet just wants to be crushed by.
Yeah. And
Which
there's rumors going around that Resident Evil 4 remake will come out sometime after this game. So
that'd be dope.
they're trying so maybe this will connect to Resident Evil 4 because they might put some villains in there. Um,
Well, like, my thing is for one, these developers have to quit making their villains for these newer games hot because like you had me with the terrifying child. Give me more terrifying children. You had me at that. I legitimately
mhm.
got scared in some of those scenes when I played the
I mean,
game.
we still haven't seen that much, so who knows? There might be a little bit, twist.
The thing though is the main villains that we do see, like the two daughters, the one or two daughters, and then the main
Yeah.
bad herself in terms of vampire side.
Yeah, like that's the thing I'm kind of worried about. It's like, how does the vampire connect to anything? Like it doesn't, and that's why I'm kind of worried about. It's like I want it to at least somewhat connect to the Resident Evil universe, and so it's like I want it to at least make sense. Like, okay, why are they, like, what does this got to do with anything with vampires and wolves? And
Well, and I
so,
kind of and I a part of me thinks that's why the game Resident Evil 7 is more of a reboot and less of a prequel. But at the same time, that's why I also said I like the theory of it being both. Like, it can very well be a reboot, but if they want to do something different, they have that starting point to give them that ability. And so I think that's where Resident Evil 8 is coming along. So it's not necessarily a, hey, we gave you a zombie game. Now here's our recreation of old mythological lore of wolves versus vampire stuff. Like we're making a darker Twilight,
Hmm.
but instead more of a we want to see what else we can do with this universe. Do what else with this universe based on horrors and monsters and such.
Yeah. And maybe the virus can, maybe who they can get addicted to the virus. They actually enjoy drinking the blood and something like
And
that.
if they do that, I'll be happy with that.
Yeah.
Give me some sort of callback. Like say, I mean, considering a virus was made in the lab, say they somehow
Maybe they were cured to it, but they just really enjoy drinking the blood and turn into vampires or something. And like it created a new virus or something. I don't know,
and
but I mean,
I would personally enjoy that. I think you could add a new layer of horror to it. So
I
instead of
think we
it being
might just spoil the game. I don't know.
maybe, but
Uh,
the thing is if they do that, I'm not gonna be mad because give me vampire zombie hybrids. Give me something else to be scared shitless of.
yeah.
Like
And get us
I don't
away
want to be
from the
scared.
movies.
Right.
Um,
Like I'm buying these games and I'm putting my time and effort into it because I want to be scared. I want to be
mhm.
afraid to push the X button. I want to be terrified to just gently push the analog stick up to walk.
Yeah, and like I was playing Slender Man the Revival. As
Oh,
much as how much simple that game is, I'm terrified to just move on. Like even a little simple game is really scary, and like it has no like it. I mean, right now I don't really know anything about the backstory or anything like that, but like just the atmosphere of it and all, it's just really
exactly.
scary to pull. That's to move on. So if they can get the atmosphere and build this world up a little bit more, that would be nice. And so,
See,
yeah,
that's kind of what I'm hoping with Resident Evil 8 is even if they don't go back to the virus at all, build me a world where running into these types of creatures and these types of dark powers and dark entities is normal.
mhm.
Like where I can foreseeably see
Yeah,
this type of
I don't think Ethan is I don't think Ethan's scared. He's just like annoyed, like in the at least the
in the
demo.
trailer.
He's like,
He's
God damn it. Not
basically
this
like
again.
trailer of Resident Evil 8 before gameplay is even shown to us, and we're seeing Ethan and Mia talking and all that, and something bad happens. He looks
Wait, Mia's
level.
alive? Wait, what?
I think that's who it was in the trailer. So if
Hmm.
you rewatch one of the trailers where it shows
I'm
that
trying not to watch the trailers, but
gotcha, no, I respect that. In one of the trailers where we get the confirmation that Chris and Ethan both return for this game, it
hmm.
looks like it might be Mia. It looks like it might be someone else.
Or it could be Zoe. Who knows? Does Zoe
Or
die?
Zoe.
I don't think Zoe dies at least.
I don't remember her dying, but I know depending on which
Because
way
there's a DLC that says that she survived or something like that.
is there because I didn't see any of the downloadable content.
I think
I'm I know.
there's like a DZ of the uncle or something like that with the
Okay,
uncle.
I was gonna say because I only remember the DC for the old man's birthday where you're playing as Evelyn before she became this monster,
Mm.
and the first one is
There's a DLC. Um, Here, let me actually find it. Um, because it's actually so. I mean, if they can just let me Resident Evil 7 Biohazard DLC. So there's the not a hero DLC and there's a End of Zoe DLC. So I think Zoe might be dead because it's called End of Zoe. Um,
well, that puts that theory to rest already.
so I mean, or it could be like End of Zoe question mark. I don't know. I have to play it. So that's kind of interesting. I'm really excited where they're gonna go with it because I'm just getting into all of this, and so I'm gonna be current and I will be currently playing through the Resident Evil games on my gaming channel and Twitch. I'll stream the ones I've already played. So Okay, so the next topic that we can be talking about is the future of Harry Potter franchises on TV. Okay, so
Oh no.
I really enjoy the Harry Potter movies. I enjoy the first Fantastic Beasts movie. Do we really need any more Harry Potters? Like, there's not really, there's books, but like, I don't,
See,
they're, they're kind of dead.
and see, here's where if any of your fan base are huge Potterheads,
Yeah, I'm probably already getting shit on in the comments already. Um,
well, because
so
like my fiance and my soon-to-be mother-in-law are huge Potterheads. Like they're not the ones who are going to be like driving you crazy with extra lore bits or something.
yeah,
But like my fiance went on vacation with her family to Universal Studios and comes back with her own wand.
I I would have done that too. I just couldn't
I mean,
afford it.
we all would have because it's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
But like, it's the fact that growing up, I always fell asleep during the movies.
I enjoy. There's only one I don't enjoy is Deathly Hallows Part One. That's the only one I don't really enjoy. And
And see,
so
like, I kept falling asleep through them as a child. The books were ruined for me in grade school because somebody that I was
I can't read that big of a book anyway. So yeah.
and like I was gonna try it at some point, but there were some people in my school that were such huge Potterheads that if anybody said anything bad about the books, even if it was like oh, there's a grammatical error, they would scream and yell at you as if you just threatened their livelihood.
Yeah, that's me with the Lord of the Rings. I know people that are really big fans of the Lord of the Rings, and then I get something wrong, they're like, "Fuck you! What the hell?" It's like, yeah.
And
So,
see, a part of me is just I can't stand that type of like, toxic fan base. Maybe in the
mhm.
future I'd give it another chance because I did look at one of the newest books that came out at the time about a few years ago.
Yeah, it
It
was
was
like Harry Potter or like the Cursed Child or something like that.
yeah, so it took place with Harry's child, and a friend of mine owned the book, and it was written like a script, like for a play or something.
It
And
was like a continue movie or something like that, and
right,
they it turned into a book.
I flipped through a few pages of that script like book, and it actually seemed pretty good. It seemed pretty solid.
Hmm.
Now, I haven't had a chance to sit down and read it completely, but if they turned that into like a bit of a serialization just to kind of give us a look at the
Like a TV
character,
show. Yeah,
yeah.
that's probably what's hinting right here. But you
But
think they would bring back the original cast just for the TV show?
I feel
And
like they would if possible. So like Daniel Radcliffe, I don't think would have any issues with coming back if it's just like a one season show based on that book.
if it was like a big season, just the what like maybe
Yeah,
a 25 episode season, just to
right.
say. Um,
Now say because I think that Cursed Child book was only like part one of two, maybe.
yeah, I don't know what it is actually about.
So if it's like that, then
Yeah,
I'd
so
say
it says right here, it says only a matter of the before the Harry Potter the Cursed Child, a stage play that continues the saga several decades down the road. So it sounds like it would be about that.
okay. So I'd say bring him back as the supportive roles that it sounds like they would have in the book.
Hmm. What
Because
does the book connect to like Voldemort or anything, like the return somehow of Voldemort or anything like that?
that's the thing. I never read the full book, so I have no idea.
Okay.
But whatever it is, it sounds like it'd be more on the kids' shoulders more so than the parents, just like Harry Potter was. It relied on the children, these young wizards in training, to take down this big bad evil guy that these trained masters of the craft couldn't take down.
I mean, that would be kind of cool seeing his own kids, killing Voldemort. It's like, hey, you couldn't kill my father, can't kill me or something like that. I don't know. I feel like
It's like,
if they, I don't know, someone in the comment section, please tell me what happens in the book because I'm probably not going to read it because it's way too big for me to read. And like, just like tell me like the plot details and all that because I would like to know to if it is a TV show based off the book because I don't want this to be a movie. I feel like we're done with these franchises that ended with movies. And so because I'm kind of curious. Okay, so it says whether Johnny Depp's play. Okay, so it's bringing up Johnny Depp and all that. So, hmm,
so then was
because
it maybe like some of the movies could be before Harry Potter and like be more Fantastic Beast connection? So
mm-hmm,
apparently the Fantastic Beast movies had connected lore.
Yeah, and the sequels will be connecting all of it together on a TV show. I don't know, maybe because there wasn't. I don't think there was a book based on the Fantastic Beasts, was there?
I think there is. I think there's a couple of books based on Fantastic Beasts.
Did it come out before the child? I think it might have come out before the child, um, the Cursed Child, because because the Phantom Beast is trying to connect to the movies, and the child is like the aftermath of it, like it's like Star Wars aftermath, and so I don't know.
Um, it looks like there is at least two Fantastic Beast books, and it's the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which is the name of the first movie,
Hmm.
and then I think the Crimes of Grindelwald, which was the sequel, which is
Yeah.
currently in development.
Uh,
But by looking at them, you got the Cursed Child. There's Quidditch Through the Ages, Tales of Beetle and the Bard, all the Harry Potter books. Apparently, she's published or publishing a book called Harry Potter: The Prequel.
what can you do a prequel with Harry Potter if we know everything?
I think
Okay.
what she might be trying to do is like give us more background lore on some of the other characters that did play a crucial role but didn't get screen time.
So stuff people like what is this?
Like
Was
Dumbledore, Severus Snape, the people that we
Well,
were like,
Dumbledore is in the Fantastic Beasts, so we're getting backstory
oh,
on him.
okay, cool. But it might be like Severus Snape. It could be like
I mean,
what happened.
do you really want to do that? The actor kind of passed away. I mean, I don't want to see anyone else play his character, and so
That's the thing though. Like I'm just trying to spitball ideas on what it could be. I honestly don't
yeah.
know.
Well, yeah, I know. If that's one of them, I don't want that to be.
I'm
Um,
not enough of a Potterhead to sit there and be like, no, no, no.
Maybe they can do Voldemort. I mean, there's still stuff that we don't really know about Voldemort, so
Right. Like, why make a child your last Horcrux if you know this child has more magic than you?
yeah. I mean, like so. I don't know. This I think feel like the Harry Potter movies. Well, not the movies, but I think just overall, I think we're done with them because I
Yeah.
feel like this is just Hollywood trying to milk as much as they can, and so
Well, and also the fact that J.K. Rowling herself is falling into obscurity because of all of the stuff that she's been all over social media for that her audience hates.
hmm,
She's been in a lot of scandals because of the stuff that she's tweeted and been like against so many things that people love. Like, I think she's had, I'm not 100% sure on this because I never followed it closely enough. I think she had some issues with like LGBTQ stuff and all that.
yeah,
So, and from what I'm understanding, a large part of her fan base did not agree with her.
hmm,
So they've
yeah.
kind of like
And
been,
I don't know. Isn't she like going through certain stuff right now? Like she's her life is going downhill, isn't it?
I honestly don't know. I don't keep up with her. I don't,
Because I mean, she wrote the Crimes of Grindelwald, and that sucked so bad. Oh my god, I don't know. Because even like the recent books that are coming out, they're not that good. Like they're starting. I feel like she's just trying to make as much money as she can at this point. I don't
but
know.
I mean, at the same time, I can't say much because I don't follow anything she does. I don't pay close attention to her. I'm not one of those people that will follow my favorite celebrities and like follow
Mm,
every detail to the T and be like, "Hey, I see you. Let me see your life," kind of thing.
yeah, yeah. Um, our final topic is like Deadpool 3 originally would have feature Wolverine Ryan Reynolds reveals. So,
I would have loved that. I'm sorry, but I
would
would have
would it have
loved
been Deadpool 3 be a prequel of Logan?
it. It could be. I
Because I
kind of.
mean,
I
I
feel
don't
like if they
know.
did that though, it'd be kind of going backwards on the character that Logan had formed for the
Yeah,
Logan. Because
I,
in that Logan just seemed exhausted, like absolutely exhausted. He's seen too many people that he cared for die.
he was just
He's
done. He was tired of
yeah,
all of it. And I feel like he was because so what happens Logan is that he only cared about Charles, and he would I think he went into exile for like many years,
Yeah, he did.
and so it wouldn't make sense to have him in Deadpool 3 to connect. And so
Well, and
and I
like my issues with it would have been like if it was supposed to be a prequel to Logan, Wolverine in that movie,
it's
exhausted, absolutely exhausted. Like he's ready to die as soon as Charles is dead. He's
yeah.
ready to end his life the best that he can because he carried an adamantium bullet so he could end his own life.
Yeah, and it says right here, it says the original plan for the sequel was to do a road trip story focusing on Deadpool and Wolverine. So I guess that could have connected to Logan some way. Um,
Maybe. My thing is, it would have to be like way in the
yeah,
past,
it
like
would. Well,
pre.
because when does Charles go into his stage to kill all the mutants? It was like
Um,
because the movie doesn't exactly say. It's like because it's been a couple years, that's for sure.
it has.
And so this must be at the time where, he's just like going exploring the new timeline that he created. And so, which is kind of odd because the timeline doesn't really change but makes things even worse.
Well,
Um,
and action movies have always been horrible with their timelines, no matter which set of movie you look at.
well, I mean, the thing is when they kept doing more with the younger characters, they just fucked it up even more. They I don't need to get into that, but it's
Topics for
they just like I feel like Deadpool. I mean, like it's Deadpool 3. They would have probably taken a little bit more serious, and it's just like, hey, like I don't know. I feel like they, because with how bad Dark Phoenix did, they would have been like, hey, we're gonna need you back, Hugh Jackman. We can't do anything else without you, and it's like a big cash grab, and so I don't know. I feel like they would have fucked up his character and made him look like an even bigger asshole.
Well, I mean, like, I'm trying to sit here and think, like, in comic books, yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine go back to back with a lot of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but one of my things about it was just I can't personally see myself watching a movie that's supposed to be, the most R-rated Deadpool version we can get for Deadpool 3,
And knowing
where
that
we
Logan's not gonna die, he's just gonna like none of these characters are gonna die.
yeah, because it'd be like, honestly, it'd be like trying to
That
think of the most depressing movie you can find, but
mm,
throwing the most slapsticky, annoying character in there to muddy up the plot.
yeah.
Because I love Deadpool. I love Deadpool 1 and 2. But
I
if you're
only
going to
seen the first one.
R-rated movie with Deadpool and you're putting Wolverine in there and his last appearance being here's my depression movie and then me having a surrogate daughter that I just leave at the end of the movie because I die. I can't see it. Like I feel like if you were to do a prequel to Logan, explain what happened in better detail. Give us an idea of what happened to Logan.
Maybe like the post credit scene is Professor X is going to like his seizure, and everything starts going to hell because like at the end of Apocalypse they were showing the Weapon X serum and all that
Right.
stuff, and so that kind of connects to Logan, but at the same time that had no connections with Logan at all. We get to see Weapon, we get to see the clone of Logan. What's his name?
I
Uh,
honestly don't remember.
I don't remember, but he we that's like him from like that's like his after his final form. And it's like he wasn't even really in the movie. He was just there to be so they can have like a big villain. And so I mean like they could have done so much. And like Logan was a good film. And I liked how it left off and how it how we saw it. I feel like there is stuff to be told, but I don't want to know about that kind of stuff because it just leaves it to a mystery.
Right. And see, that's kind of what I like about Wolverine. A lot of his stuff has been a mystery. A lot of the comic books have said otherwise about his life since they've had so many stories, so many reboots, stuff like that. Um, but when it comes to the movies, I kind of want them to leave Logan's story where it ended. No
Yeah.
more. Here's what happened before this. Here's what's happening during this. Like,
The multiverse saves Logan. I don't want that because I mean, like, there's been theories that Hugh Jackman will come back for the MCU. It's like I don't.
I don't see that happening. I'm
I don't
pretty
know.
sure Hugh Jackman is ready for other roles that isn't, hey,
I,
I'm
I
gonna be an angry Austrian man with claws coming out of my
I
hands.
think he wants to do more of his, the stuff that he's been doing right now with the like the plays and all that. Because he's a what is it? Isn't he like a dancer or something like that? He's like
Yeah,
a
he was. He's a. Uh, I want to say he's like theater trained,
yeah, like
hence
that.
why
Yeah,
he did well
yeah.
with the Greatest Showman,
Hmm.
because since that was a more musical style where he could really show his dancing skills
Yeah,
and
he wants to do more musical stuff. That's right. Yeah, and
yeah,
so
like he wants to expand his roster of roles again and really flesh out his roster before he probably retires in the next, I don't know, 10, 15 years.
and he doesn't want to become one of those actors that just does one role for the rest of his life. And
Exactly. And
so
I respect that. Like his
that's
role in the
that's
Great
what that's like with what's his name, Harrison Ford. Like a bunch of actors want to
yeah,
play
well,
all these
Harrison
roles.
Ford got to do more roles, but
Well, yeah, but he hates Star Wars. He didn't want to be. He wanted to die in the third one. So then,
right.
so he couldn't do any all these other Star Wars stuff, and so I feel like he was held back a little bit. And that's the same thing with Indiana Jones. He doesn't want to do that much of it, and though he does enjoy that more than Han Solo.
Yeah, no, I
So
can see that. I can definitely tell he enjoys Indiana Jones more. But that's because if you look at Indiana Jones and Han Solo, they're essentially the same character. The only difference is one walks around with a furry and a laser, the other one walks around with a pistol and a whip.
yeah, one the whip sounds cooler than a laser.
Yeah.
And so, um, but I mean, Hollywood's just trying to milk everything at this point, and Deadpool 3 is still going to be in like the Fox universe, from what I've been hearing. Next, at the end, it might, the multiverse might happen. He gets sucked in or something like that. So who knows? Wolverine could still return for the third movie because I think it's still going to be in the Fox universe. The next, the ending might change all that.
And I'm kind of hoping it doesn't. Like, I mean, if it changes stuff to be in the MCU, fine by me.
Hmm.
But don't revive characters you don't need to revive. We don't need more Logan. If we do, bring back X-23, the daughter. Bring her
Yeah,
back. Let
there's a rumor that she might get her own thing going on as well. She might be in the MCU as well,
and
which
see.
will be
I know
fine. That would be
discussion
fine.
with the actress who says she would love to come back for the role.
Hmm. And with the way that Fox went, being bought, she kind of just got left behind at that point because, Fox could have said no, but I feel like they knew like we ran out of ideas. Yeah, take it, you know. So,
But I mean, she said she's willing to come back to the role. She liked the role, and with her being so young, there's a lot you can do with her. Like she
hmm
just lost the only person who ever understood her, the only person who ever treated her like she
and
was
and if if you recast Logan, which they might do, which is probably the best thing to do,
probably.
there could be a little bit, like conflict there. It's like, oh, I knew you as someone else, but you're not the same person.
I
And
mean, yeah,
so,
you have to have another father-daughter bonding movie, but guess what? That gives you a chance to do something new with the character because there have
mm,
been many iterations of Wolverine through the years.
yeah.
I'm guaranteeing you can open up a Wolverine comic, see something new that you may not have had the chance to do with, the one that we know.
Well, I
And
don't think they really follow the comics, so
I
they
know they
could.
don't follow comics that well, but it's like if you want to do something new with the character, you don't have to stray far.
Mm,
Just open one of the comics for a hot second, and boom, you have something new that you can put into your new Logan that can make them different, make them a bit more modern, because we know that's what they're going for is more modern characters. and that could help, fuel whatever plot you put him in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's even been a storyline where Wolverine was a gay cowboy, basically.
Yeah.
Once again, thank you for Jeff for joining me this episode. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the episode. If you guys, if you guys haven't already, go down in the description, check out their channel. They have a lot of great stuff, like I said before. So hopefully, you guys enjoyed the episode. And like always, I'll see you guys next episode. Bye, guys.